Oh, that seems to have worked. Nobody's here yet, but that seems to have worked. Oh. Let's see if anybody actually finds it. Oh, there's one person here. That might be me. Please tell me I haven't made it private, because that would just be hilarious. No, it's gone live. Yay, Darcy's here. Marie's here. Yay! You found me. Oh, amazing. Let's see if it actually holds up. Mum's checked the router and there's nothing wrong with that. So, I don't know. We were talking about, in fact, I can get the comments up because the Hangout is there. Should be quiet. Be quiet. Oh. No, can't get the live chat up on my phone. No. Yeah, but hello. We were talking about fabric, the fabric from Spotlight, the green palm print fabric from Spotlight, and the fact that I've had 10 meters of it and I want to buy more. And do we think that's silly? So Darcy's made it over, Marie's back, Caroline's here, Robin's here, Elena says, hooray, we have contact. Christine says, hi Christine. Christiane, sorry. On my eyesight. Christiane is here. Hello, lovely. Debbie's here. Nessie says, hello, maybe. Joker says, hey, I told you menacing it with a steel drumstick would work. And Charlotte says, take 3 is taking. And Jennifer says, I suggested turning it into a capsule wardrobe. I like your thinking. I'm thinking that could work. Michelle says, happy Sunday. I'm working today, so you're having to keep me company while I write financial statements. Ooh, fun times. Thank you for finding me over here and joining me again. I am attempting to hem a dress, the very first thing I have completely cut out and sewn in 2025. I'm really pleased with it. It is a TNT, so this counts as one off of my 12. But it's a good one and I am pleased. Box says, oof, I was on take 2. Marie says, I'm itching to start the end shirt for my husband. Unfortunately, I have had bad back for a few days. So reading at the moment. Oh, I hope you feel better soon. And enjoy your shirt, sorry. Jennifer says, the sound isn't great, but at least we can see you. Yeah, apparently the sound's not been particularly great, but apparently the internet's just been not great here the entirety of this evening. So we're phoning the providers tomorrow because sometimes. Robin says, should I buy more fabric? You already know my answer, lol. Martina says, hello everybody. Hello Martina. Yeah. I did the same thing with the Savannah. And I'm really pleased that I did. And I've still got 2 more dresses to make from Savannah. And I'm going to be really glad when I have those as well, because I love that print, as we all know. So, yeah. I mean, there's a whole meme, isn't there? It's like, if I like it, they do it another colour, I'll just pick one up. And if I like it and they do it in another colour, I'll just buy one. And if I like it and there's another colour, then I'll grab that. And yeah, it's me. And the problem is me. I don't know. I think it's maybe extravagant, but also fabulous. Elena says, but every leafy dress needs its hidden lemons or pineapple. Are you hiding them in the dress? I probably will find a way of doing that. I don't like sewing labels, but I might try and make some sewing labels to put in like the inside of pockets or something. Jokingly says, I finally got working on the actual fabric for the Vogue 1961. I've been mocking up for the last 4 months, lol, and now I have the first calf check has. And now that the first calf check has arrived, the sewing machines are going to be heading to the sewing machine doctor to get a tune-up and a few repairs, including the old slant-o-matic. Ooh, I don't know what it is. Am I going in? Caroline says, I'm knitting. Kieran pulled me over in his adventure earlier, so I've been skinned knees and arms, so I'm very sore. He does adore little Bella, and now she calls him when she's in the garden. Oh, bless. But Kieran, don't pull your mummy over. Historically Fashion says, I've got to get the wearable muslin fodder present for my style up bell dress. Why do I torture myself? Because you will thank your later self will thank your now self for that. David Raven's made it over. Hey, good. Hi. Jim Pin says, I started a new weave of a summer scarf this week, but got excited about the next project. One of my friends complimented me by saying, well, you're a habitual finisher. Such a compliment. It is. David Rose says, not sure if you saw my comment before, Sean, but also wearing a fluffy throw over my shoulders, but maroon, not blue. Also wearing a tracksuit. Cuppa 2. What Sundays are for, right? Absolutely. That's better. And Caroline says, at least I didn't drop his lead. I'm proud of that. He jumped over a 6-foot fence. Like, I'm impressed. I am very impressed. Okay. I think that's better. Devin Rose says, I was also curious what's on your jumper, a romantic scene. Yes, it's Jareth romancing Sarah at the ball in the labyrinth. Sort of romance. Sort of like massively inappropriate. I love that film. Rottenmouth says, I have now acquired a filing cabinet for my patterns and now need acid-free drop-in photo albums to organise the sleeves. I'm going to try Ash's pattern organising method. Nice. Martina says, it's so fun that everyone has his own habits. I could never make more than 2 garments from the same fabric. I'm so fascinated by your way of thinking. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I'm like, I want all of the things. I want all of the things out of this print because it's just so fabulous. Missy says to Darcy, ooh, good idea. Yeah, I definitely need to do some like PDF pattern management and organization, because this side of the PDFs is really good, but my computer storage for the PDFs is also really good, but the memory, the braining and remembering what I've bought, not so good. I have gotten into the habit of marking anything that I've had printed with a P so that I don't have something reprinted. Ask me how I know. Only done that once, but once was enough to implement the P situation. So yeah. But yeah, no, I do need to organise the pattern stuff a little bit better. David Rose says, love it. Poetic as a seamstress for you to be wearing that if film had needed shines in their life with their magnificent costumes. I was saying in the Patreon hangout, I really want to make both of these costumes, but I also kind of really want to do like a what happens if she actually did stay and they ended up like as a couple, and like how her dress would have looked if she'd become the Goblin Queen. Like a mashup of their 2 outfits. I want to make like all 3 of those things. Darcy says, Missy, I watched their video yesterday and how it worked seems beautiful and simple. Simple? I need to watch that video because I love the recommendation video. Let me check that out. You click for the recommendation. Marie says, I have decided can't read and participate, so I'm knitting now. Yeah, I'm sure like all the waffle is distracting you from your book. That's not good. What are you reading at the moment? I am just about to start the third book of the fourth Farseer trilogy from Robin Hood. I'm very excited. Christiane says, PDF don't seem to work for my shape. So sad. Oh. Which companies have you tried? Because everybody drafts from seemingly really different blocks. I found that the Sew Over It block, I mean, obviously I love the E, but like the rest of the Sew Over It block is a bit, I have to do a lot of tweaks to that one to get it to work for me. Whereas, like, as you guys know, the big four are, the block is basically made for me, which I'm incredibly lucky to say. So, yes. David Rove says that would be amazing if you did. Oh, one, it's definitely a video that I would like to make, or a video series that I would like to make, because, you know, like I say, 3 separate outfits. So hopefully I'll be able to afford all the things for making those costumes, because I think it would be a really fun series to do. I'm sitting really poorly, it's really hurting my back. I shouldn't do this. Darcy says, currently trapped under the youngest kitty and she's napping, so I guess I live here now. Yes, you do. It is illegal for you to move. I hope you enjoy where you are. I had tuna pasta for lunch, which was very delicious, and it was tuna in spring water. And I don't do this often, but I squeezed out all of the water into a dish and gave it to the kittens, and oh my goodness, they were very excited, and they finished the entire dish of water, tuna water, in one sitting, which I was not expecting. They were very happy, and they have not been sick, and they seem fine so far. And the only reason I say that is because Mum made salmon, very plain salmon, nothing on it, for Kai, and she also gave the kittens a portion, and Max ate the entire portion as quickly as he could, and then came into the front room and promptly threw it up on the £30,000 rug. We didn't pay, Mum and Dad didn't pay £30,000 for the rug. They bought it in Saudi Arabia, I think, and they paid $3,000 for it. But if you bought the same rug in Harrods, it was £30,000, and that was 10 years ago. So we joke that there's a really expensive rug. I mean, there is a really expensive rug in the front room, but it's not as expensive as the Harrods rug, except it's exactly the same one. So it just shows you how much of a markup it costs for Harrods to ship things in. But yes, no, Max promptly threw up all of the salmon 3 times over different areas of the rug that I then had to clean up. So it was an experiment giving them the tuna water, but they loved it. So yes, but no, Darcy, you are stuck under a cat now. Historically Fashion says, I finally broke down and got a projector for sewing. No more sticking together or sending out for printing. Nice. I can't bring myself to do it. I don't think I would enjoy the experience. I've gotten into the habit of really liking tracing patterns, and obviously I could print it, like project it onto paper and do that. But I don't know. I don't know if I could get on. Mind you, I've never tried, so maybe I would love it, but I'm not sure. Marie says, I'm reading the 5th book of the TRE of Ages. The Tree of Ages? I don't know that one. Caroline says, I find so over arms are too skinny. Yes, I think that's, everybody says that. I totally agree with you. Apparently I have chunky arms, because my arms are one thing that the big 4 patterns do tend to come up on the side of being too small for me. So I do usually have to adjust those. But yeah, so over at patterns, the arms are very slim. Not that our arms aren't, Caroline, you know what I mean. Ginny says, I've just put chicken in the oven to roast, then we'll be eating late and watching the pottery throwdown. Nice. Mum and Dad are doing roast dinner tomorrow because I have this evening. And I was busy with sewing and stuff today as well, so yes. Joker Clee says, I'm still chewing my way through Edible and Medicinal Plants of Canada, along with its sister book that focuses more on Western Canada. Ooh, interesting. Charlotte says, I'm currently reading Jade War by Fonda Lee, book 2 of the Greenbone saga, and also Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Oh, I've listened to Quicksilver. I'm listening to it again because I've also bought Reckless, which I think is the second book in that series. So I want to listen to the first one again because I didn't want to miss anything. But I know that's one of my best friend's favourite books. Rotten Ralph says to Nessie, I explained it to my husband and he looked surprised at the simplicity. Unique says, as a curvy girl myself, might I recommend Cashmere Patterns? They are one of the few companies who draft accurately for a wider range of sizes. I honestly haven't tried any of their patterns. And I should because I do really like some of their dresses. I think I'm just so spoiled by the fact that the nipples and Vogue and Rhetoric fit me so well that I kind of, and that I was able to get them so inexpensively as well. I think I've just kind of been spoiled by those. Joke says, I'm chewing on some deli-style commercial summer sausage and a local Gouda cheese. Cheese. Christiane says, no, that's Christine. Sorry. Oh, God, my eyesight's terrible. Sorry. Christine says, charm patterns along with Jennifer Lauren handmade. They are too big or shape fits wrong. See, for me, Jennifer Lauren handmade, I don't have to add length to the torso, so she's obviously drafted for a slightly longer torso. Having said that, I've only tried 2 of her patterns, but both of those that I have tried I love, and I've not had to do any alterations to those either. Darcy says, my older sister is also a strong proponent for cashmere patterns. Miki's here. I'm attaching the gathered skirt to my new Feliz dress, Fibre Mood. Really want to finish tonight or tomorrow evening. Sleeves, buttons, and hemming yet to do. Elena says, salmon is fatty, so only small amounts of it is good for kittens. Yeah, I mean, it was a small portion, but he did inhale it. He was just like, oh my God, this is delicious. And then literally like everywhere. So, fun times. David Rove says, good luck, Nikki, you've got this. Indeed. Historically Fashion says, I project onto paper. I like to have a hard copy to play with. Same. If I can find somebody local to me who has a projector, then I could play with. I would give it a go. But I do like the idea of not having to have PDFs printed. That does appeal. That definitely does appeal. Where do I get to? Sorry. Gina Pin says, I'm not so good in cars or coaches, but I can sew, knit, embroider, and crochet on the train. I'm the same. I can do lots of things on the train that I can't do on coaches and definitely not in cars. My mum knits in cars. I have no idea how she does it. It's why I always volunteer to drive, and mum can sort of sit there and navigate and knit because I just feel sick. And then it says a kitten portion is like max a tablespoon. Yeah. It was one of those each, so 2 kittens worth, and he pigged a lot. So yeah. You can now have tiny little bits. Also, we've got the freeze-dried shrimp that he absolutely goes nuts for. And because he goes nuts for it, when Mum had some friends over, they were feeding him loads, and that was unpleasant to deal with later. So now they're allowed 1 freeze-dried shrimp in the morning. That's all they get. Dave Rove says, can't you sew and eat a roast at the same time? Just sew before dinner, during dinner, and after dinner. No, unfortunately, Mum and Dad want actual attention paid to them and like a game of cards afterwards and things like that when they do a roast, which is lovely, and I do enjoy it very much, and they're very grateful that they're willing to work around my schedule. But yeah, Sundays are not a good day I mean, they're a massively busy day for Mum as well, because she has church in the morning, and she has lots of people that she picks up and takes to church and takes home and things. So it's not like it's a quiet day for Mum either. But yeah, they've agreed to do a roast dinner tomorrow, which is awesome. Robin says, I want to try a projector. Don't know how I'll get on with it though. Darcy says, I dropped my phone near my kitty. I have been put in the doghouse. Bad human, very bad human. Caroline says to Elena, I can't eat salmon, too oily for my poor stomach. Dave on a Rose says, great stuff. The train gin pins. Do fellow passengers comment? Historically Fashion says to Robin, I got a UST cheap from eBay for the same reason. I like the instant gratification. Vox says, my internet is just being really poo-poo today. I'm watching 360 DPI. Oh, sorry. I'm very, 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 very blurry. I am potato. Caroline says, 10 more rows of yellow for the back of my Quidditch sweater. Nice. Elena says to Caroline, that doesn't sound fun. And kitten portions is Max like a tablespoon. Yeah. Max definitely had his and Izzy's portion. Gillian Pin says, regularly get looks knitting socks on 4 needles. I had an audience of 2 little girls watching last time. Oh, cute. Caroline says to Gillian Pins, I used to knit when commuting. Could do a baby cardi in a week with just that time. Nice. Fox says to Caroline, oof, you're also knitting. I'm also at the toes of my socks. Vesna says, hello from Canada, way too snowy out. We'll be sewing today. Nice and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Christine says, sorry, haven't been able to change name on YouTube channel, so it's coming up as Christine. And Christiane, it is on Patreon. So it is Christiane. Awesome. Dave Narave says, that's sweet, Gin and Pins. Marie says, I just finished the Tears of Hercules. Ooh, I will check that out. Dave Narave says, there are many knitters here, and you all sound like a wonderful, close-knit family. Caroline says, nice to Vox. And Vox says, still nice to listen whilst knitting. Yes. I wish I could knit more than just like very basic straight line knitting. Mum's making the Moray Star sweater at the moment for herself. And she has said that if it comes out all right, she's going to make one for me, because we did buy that pattern from the initially. But she discovered some red wool in her stash, and she was like, oh, yes, I would like a sweater. So she's making herself one. Yes, knitting it's always amazing, the sorts of things that people actually make. It's just like, and I appreciate it's the skill that you learn, and you learn to read the patterns and you make sense of the language, and yeah, it baffles me. Darcy says, knitting on the light rail is a good thing. Keeps me focused and keeps my social anxiety under control. And David Moreau says, bless you to Darcy. Yeah, I can see that, because it's something that keeps you busy. Like I've sewn things on the train before. Like I've been doing hand hemming, or I remember going up to see my friend for her 30th birthday, so 10 years ago now. She's just turned 40, and I'd made her a quilt, and I had to sew on the nameplate on the back. I remember doing that on the train on the way up, because I hadn't done it yet, and we were going straight to her house. So yeah. In fact, actually, my Facebook's reminded me that my Lone Star quilt is going to be 10 years old this year, which means that I have had an unfinished quilt. And theoretically, it's finished. There's just a bit more quilting that I want to do to like properly round it off. But yeah, there's been an unfinished quilt floating around my possession for 10 years now. So that was the 3rd quilt I've made, and it was the last quilt I've made, and I haven't quilted anything for 10 years. So I have a quilted dress project that I want to attempt this year with the same fabric as my Lone Star quilt. So I think I also need to kind of incorporate finishing off that quilt in that video series, perhaps. Caroline says, I have that pattern, it's pretty, we'll have to trawl my stash and see if I have enough. My great granny taught me when I was about 4, knitting, yes, and the more I start, it looks really pretty. Mum was having a really hard time with the pattern, and then she worked out how they'd actually written it. She had to turn it on its side, and she was like, oh. The minute she did that, it was like, oh, now it makes sense. Darcy says, of course I don't need to go out for many things these days. And Jennifer says, I've hit a new peak of crafting. I've started knitting with yarn I spun myself. Next is dressmaking with cloth I've woven. Maybe this year. It's going to be so cool. And Darcy says to Gin and Pins, that's living the dream. And David Rose says, did you have a table on the train, Sean, or you have to use your lap? I had a table. I had because of where I live, the train that I get on to go to London starts at where I live. Well, it starts at Portsmouth, so I get on the ferry, but then the train can't go any further because there's the English Channel in the way, or the Solent technically. So yeah, I'm one of the first people to get on the train, which usually means that I can get a seat. Usually my choice of seat. Sometimes I pre-book my seats, but they've stopped really doing that option on the less expensive tickets, which is annoying, but as I said, I get on first, so I usually get a seat. And it usually means as well, when I was getting the train back from London, I could go right to the front of the train. And usually those carriages are less full because they're a pain in the arse for most train stations, because if you're that far down the platform, usually you have to walk back to the main part of the platform to get out through the station house. But for Portsmouth, you want to be right at the front because the ferry is right at the front, or where the trains drop off. So if you're in the first carriage, that's good. So yeah, never used to have a problem getting a seat on the train, but I haven't done that in ages because it's £70, and getting the coach up to London was £19 last time I went, and I'm totally doing the coach again when I do the Old Hook Road meetup in May, which I will put details up for soon. There's somebody that on the Peeps group that wants to do. They did say they wanted to do either Gold Hawk Road or Walthamstow, but when I said I was going to be going to Gold Hawk Road, they were like, I kind of want to go to Walthamstow. And I will at some point do that. I've never been, so it wouldn't be me it wouldn't be a great idea for me to organise it. But I love the Gold Hawk Road, and I've not been for a good couple of years now, so I kind of want to go back. Because there's a couple of fabrics that I would like to try and get. I'm hoping that the shops still have them. One's a plain silk, one's a plain mesh, so I'm thinking the shops will still have them because both of them are very expensive, so it's not like it would have gone out of stock really quick. What did I do with the change? Caroline says, that's worth knowing. Yeah, double check how the pattern is written because, oh my gosh, Mum was having a nightmare with it. Mimoy says, hello everyone, I'm back. I've been fed. It was just a bit of a journey to find you. Yes, many tries and attempts. I will go back and alter the titles of things, but it's just obviously I was trying to like get these next ones up quickly, which we have now managed. But I will go back and alter the titles so it's a little easier to find. Jonathan says, I usually use my lap. I have a fear of having drinks spilled on my work. I kind of was being an obnoxious person. I was with somebody else at the time as well. So he was sitting opposite me and we'd taken up the whole table, the whole 4 seats, because they don't have anywhere for you to store your bags. So it was like I'm not abandoning my bag because it's got my laptop in it. So yeah, we were being obnoxious, but the train never got particularly full. So yeah. David Rose says Southwest trains with red furniture, right? I can't remember. I think the seats are blue. But it's been a long time since I've been on the train. Box says I have to go clean the aquarium. Wish you a great week, Sean and Peeps. You too. Thank you for joining us. David Arave says I love Portsmouth. I like Portsmouth too. I know lots of people don't like them. Unique says, the hidden expensive of island living. Yes. And Caroline says to David Arave, I have loads of family in Pompey. Dad went to grammar school. Nan and Auntie Bar lived in crawling distance of the Nelly Gwyn in Southsea. David Arave says to Gin and Pins, I suppose knitting is easier for the lap than sewing, but pins are involved. Nessa says it's not really mine till I've spilled tea on it. Christiane says, what are you making with the blue Cobra Corsage? It's actually Anaconda and Fleeces, and it is the lining for a yellow Sorrento jacket. So that's going to be the denim jacket outer, and then that's going to be the lining. I've had that cut out since June. And I'm really looking forward to having it. I think it's going to be an awesome jacket, and it's going to be one that gets worn often because it's such a bright colour, and we've established that I much prefer the bright colours. And I love my green one that I've done, but it is very muted. But it goes well with a lot of my other things. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, and I just haven't gotten around to making it since June. Nimue says, speaking of travelling, the topic came up and Mum thinks she'll be okay alone for a week. So temptation is growing. Have to have a serious look at flights and stuff. Yes, please do. But you would not be our only German contingent this year. So yes, technically there are 2 rooms left. And it would be lovely to see you. Although if you do come this year, does that mean you're not coming next year? Because I'm not sure I'm alright with that. Because does she not fancy coming to the Isle of Wight? It's a long way to come. Caroline says to Vox, bye bye, take care. Darcy says, I keep getting ads for magic mushroom gummies on my phone. It's not legal in Florida, but I guess it's all right to advertise them. How bizarre. Gin and Pin says, my favourite local fabric store suddenly closed down at the end of last year. I might go on an adventure soon to one about an hour away on the bus. Ooh, fun. I still want to go to Truro Fabrics, which also means a trip to Truro. And hopefully Andy would let me take her out for lunch, because it would be lovely to see her. So yeah, I would like to go to Truro Fabrics. They're one of my favourites. David Arave says, that's awesome, Caroline. And Nessa says, ooh, fun colours. Very loud colours. David Arave says, Sean, are you more of a chalker or a pinner when prepping to hem? I use my friction pen to mark my trim lines for leveling my hems. I very rarely use pins, but then most of the time I'm doing like either a narrow rolled hem or bias binding like this, because most of my hems are huge circles of some kind. But yeah, I very rarely pin anymore. Dave Larave says, ooh, Cornish pasties and Doomba. Yeah, and I can go out season as well, because it's not like I need to be there when it's appropriate to use the beach and stuff. So, because Andy came up to one of the Goldport Road meetups, she flew up and then got the train home, which I was volume has gone. So, there's a sleeper train to that way, but I don't know if it goes all the way to Penzance. I don't know if you're able to get off along the way. I'll have to look into it. That could be quite fun. Caroline says, love Truro. They used to have a monthly cattle market, which was always fun. Little sister now lives in, I'm never going to say that right, Launceston? Nessie says, I'm from California, so we do blues and yellows gold a lot. Nice. I do love that combination. And Nimoy says, coming over every other year still feels like a reasonable idea. So if I come this year, I'll probably skip next. But who knows what happens in the future? And yeah, you know you're going to get the FOMO. Next year is going to be a properly international one because I've got someone coming from Australia, I've got someone coming from Bermuda. I mean, jokingly, it depends how many cards you sell, isn't it? But you were even costing it up and seeing how much it would cost for you and your wife to come, which would be awesome. But as we established, also very expensive. Jokingly says, great, now I'm hungry and craving a good burger and fries again. Fries. Caroline says, David arrived. Now there's a thought. I have pasties in the freezer, proper Cornish ones, no carrots. Nice. Nimue says, FOMO? Me? No idea what you're talking about. Jennifer says, I've had a delivery of about 10 metres of heavyish cotton shirting in Cornish cream from Fabrics. Dress and top and bottoms plus some extra to play around with. Me in cream. Nice. Jokingly says, yeah, 10k for a week off the farm just wasn't feasible this year. That no. I totally agree. Plus, it's not like it's a relaxing holiday either, as the people that have been in the past. I don't know if Debbie's still here, but Nimoy can attest to this, and so can Robin. I am a taskmaster. The power goes to my head. Although I do enforce tea breaks as much as I enforce work. How are we doing for time, by the way? We've got 10 minutes before Andrea starts. So, if you did come, would you sew and would your wife sew as well, or would she be your non-sewing peak? Because I've got one non-sewing peak coming this year from Colorado. So we are international this year as well, because we've got someone from Germany, someone from Colorado, or two people from Colorado, and everybody else is from the UK. Unless Nimoy comes in, we've got someone from Germany, some two people from Germany. Jokingly says, my wife can't sew without ripping into a hole in the space-time continuum. So no, we won't let her sew then. But we do have lots of beautiful countryside for her to have a look around at, and she always can keep us company. And obviously all the yummy food as well. Jennifer says, have to go and sort the cats out. Don't ask. See you next week. See you next week, lovely. Michelle says, I can't wait to come to the retreat and sew till my heart's content. I'm so looking forward to seeing you all the way from Bermuda. It's going to be awesome. Have work given you the time off? Because I know you said you were going to ask for it, because that's why you wanted the dates, wasn't it? Ellen says, no, I didn't walk 15 minutes in a blizzard to a grocery shop just to get some chocolate, and there is still the walk back. Oh no! Mum bought me chocolate. They are delicious. And highly recommend. And what's nicer is they're actually really tiny, so they're incredibly rich. So you really don't need very many of those at all. Moy says, my mum has even considered coming along before I mentioned the option. It's a bit much for her right now, but she might get adventurous. It would be lovely to meet her. Nissa says to jokingly, please, lol, it's good she has you then. And then Moy says, I don't think you enforce anything as strictly as the tea breaks. Enforce tea breaks. There's always one as well that's just like one more stitch. Just yes, you may, but you will have tea. You will stop and down tools and stand up and stretch your legs and walk around a bit, because I didn't realise yesterday when I was making this dress that it was 20 past 9 when I finished. And I was like, oh, I hadn't fed the kittens. They were hungry. And they had kibble, so and mum and dad were right there. So if they were really starving, they could have mithered at mum and dad until they'd fed them, and they would have. But yeah, I got carried away yesterday, and then I stood up and I was like, oh, I should have moved more. I need somebody to enforce tea breaks on me. But yes, no, I do enforce tea breaks. You will have fun at a scheduled pace. Michelle says, already have vacation time booked. My manager thinks I'm insane because it's over a year away. But it's good because you can plan for it and get prepared. It's like the lady that's coming from Australia was going to come this year, but wasn't able to for health reasons. I believe she's planning on coming next year. But again, she's like, what dates is it? Because I want to do the thing. And it's lots of travel. When you're coming from abroad, you've got a lot of travel to plan, because you've not only got to get to the UK, you've then got to get to the Isle of Wight, which involves at least 2 modes of transport. Jake Clue says, I used to work for a neighbour, and every afternoon we had to stop about 3 p.m. or so and have lunch, which was usually a sandwich or 2, plus a drink, and usually some homemade cookies. Missy says, all my vacation time goes to Irish dance these days. Oh, still, that's very cool. As in, you go to like lessons or events, or because I know that there's some salsa clubs near me that do like long weekenders, which is learning during the day and then kind of like social dancing in the evenings. I really want to get back into salsa. I really enjoy it. I like dancing. I like dancing a lot. I need to put my finger out and go back. I also need to up my fitness levels just a little bit before I try and do that. Jokingly says, didn't matter if we were in the yard or out in the field, lunch always showed up around 3. Yeah. Yeah, no, I make everybody have enforced tea breaks because it's good to stretch, get up, move around. Do the thing. It's also good for me because I do a lot of standing around. So it's nice for me to go and sit down. And my back appreciates it muchly. How are we doing for time? 3 minutes. So what I'll do is I will round up for this evening. Lucy says, travelling for competitions, classes are 20 minutes from me. It's still travelling for competitions, that's good. Thank you very much for making it over to take 3 of today's hangout. Sorry it was so much of a nightmare at the start, and sorry about all the sound and quality issues. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Apparently our internet hamsters possibly on strike today, but thank you. Next week's hangout will be a morning hangout, so 11:30 for the Patreon and YouTube members, and then 12:30, so early afternoon hangout for the main channel. There will be a video out on Tuesday. Still got to film it, but there will be one. And there will be the Patreon waffle on the Patreon page and the YouTube page on Wednesday, and then the condensed main channel version will be on Friday. So lots of me again. But thank you very much for hanging out with me this afternoon, and I will see you all next week for all of those things. Bye.